Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and we're hanging out in West Hill on the Citadel server. Sun is coming up and we finished up all of the details along the East Road here, at least on the east side of the East Road. We started a little bit more over here, but because I'm not sure what's happening in here, I didn't finish this hillside because I think I want to do whatever's going to be down there on the waterfront first. Obviously the other side of the river is not done. But all of this is stuff that we tackled over the last couple of streams. I think has come out quite well, minus the giant spiders walking around. And I was looking around today trying to figure out what we're going to do next. And I do have a book that has like a to-do list on it. We've got some texture here that could be changed. We've got to put in the street lights again. I really think the first thing I want to do is figure out what's happening with this area. So now that we've got that wheat field done, and we have the graveyard done, this area in between feels really bland, and it's decidedly unfinished. Like it's a work in progress sort of deal. So I feel like we need to figure out maybe what's going to happen with this landscape here, and that will then inform what we do. We're probably going to cover this up or mow this down. I feel like it could also be nice. We did this really cool meadow of flowers that you can't really see because this stuff is in the way. And I'm thinking it would be cool if we had at least a visual on that. And that might actually mean removing some of this hill here. I'm not sure. I think at least this top layer is coming down. So we might start there. I'm just going to fill that in and kind of go from there. True Purple subscribing at tier 1, 57 months. Holy smokes. Thanks so much, True Purple. Appreciate it. Glad to see you here. So I don't have the book on me. You can look in here. That's all inside the keep. This is all inside the keep. This is all table and chair fixes that are problems with the data pack. West Hill Valley. We've got the North Road and Crossroads. So I'm going to go through this slowly. So the North Road and Crossroads, that's over here. And feel free in chat to chime in if you think there's something in particular today you'd like to work on. So the North Road and Crossroads and the Northern Farms, the West Riverscape. So that's the West Riverscape there. This is the Northern Crossroads. So this is the North Road here. North is that way. That's the Western Road. So this is the Crossroads, and I want to put some sort of signage here. I think I want to put a building here, like maybe a small inn or something. This is going to be a farm, but we haven't really done much besides kind of smoothing it out a bit. Then we have the East Bridge Road, and I feel like, yeah, and the East Farm Road. So this is the East Bridge Road here, because that's the East Bridge. So this is the East Bridge Road. And then the East Farm Road is this one. This is the one that goes by the farm. So that's very, very simple. It's not been decorated at all. There's a swamp I want to put in here, a little marshland with a waterfall coming down. So that's kind of what's happening over there, or will be happening over there. East River Wharf, and the textures and dress the East Road. So that's kind of, this is all kind of part of the upper part here. And then the East River and Wharf, that's back over this way. That's what I was pointing at earlier. I'll stay up high. So this is the East River, and there's no texture, there's no grass, there's no anything happening in that at all. It actually kind of ends, I think, right there. If we go into the map, yeah, like I don't even have it connected. You can see on my little arrow where I want to connect it to the rest of the Minecraft world. And I also want to clear out some of this sand around the corner. Not the most interesting thing to do, but still something we could tackle today. And the wharf that I'm talking about is right there. And we were looking at that just a few minutes ago. So I believe I want to put like a small wharf there. We have something similar over here as the river snakes around through the town. We have, you can sort of see it's a very similar setup where there's like a gradual slope down to a small wharf that's built. And then from here, again, there's no river decoration except for over this way. We did at least a little bit of stuff happening over there. So it's all very basic. But that's the kind of thing that we need to do over in the east. SweetSandi, Kel, Birdie, good to see you. And then we've got, that's the East River Morb. So the East Graveyard and Southeast Road. Well, we didn't chop the ugly custom tree. We fixed ugly custom tree. So there's a swamp area at the base of the north wall. Main north crossroads sign. That actually can go back at the other page. Wheat farm mill interior. West Hill Riverscape, East Farm Road Marsh, East Farm Road landscaping. Yeah, so that's the East Road Farm Road I mentioned. The swampy area at the front of the build, that's going to be over here. So this little lower area here is all going to be turned into like a swamp, and it's going to drain into the river over there. And it just provides a nice kind of separation between the wall and the surrounding roads. Creates more of a barrier, I guess. So yeah, those are the options. I'm leaning on doing more work along the East Road. I feel like while I'm thinking about what things I want to do creatively, I think we can just jump in and remove this top layer of grass and just kind of see how we want to deal with that. I do need to take shaders off because for whatever reason my computer is acting crazy today, and I'm getting a lot of frame issues or stuttering monitor problems. Also having trouble with the Twitch leaderboard. I put a post in the Discord. I don't know what's going on. I'm really getting fed up with Streamlabs. I use Stream labels to track things like the sub notifications that you might see pop up on screen. Also, there's a leaderboard that tracks like how many subs we have, who is the latest gift sub, all that kind of stuff. And the data is just not showing up. I've tried re-adding, I've tried re-logging into Streamlabs, I've tried restarting OBS a number of times, which is what's fixed it before. But I've not changed anything since yesterday, and it was working fine yesterday. So I don't know whether Twitch is having a problem with an API, whether Streamlabs is having a problem with an API, but it's not working. So I apologize to the people that are supporting or have recently done subs and gift subs and just don't have their name up at the top of the screen as normal. I wish I could fix it, but these are the kind of things that because they work most of the time, you know, I only ever notice that they're not working 10 minutes before I start streaming, and that's not enough time to troubleshoot it. I was late starting today as it was, right? I wish that there was a way that we could condense grass blocks. We were talking about this the other day about inventory and stuff. I think it would be really cool if all the natural blocks in Minecraft looked like that. You know, we were talking about grass sides, and I know we've got the moss block now. I get it, but it's a different color. It's a different texture. I think it would be really cool if we took a grass block and did like a 4x4 like that, or a 2x2, and then we got a fully all sides grass block. I think that would be a really clever solution that only the players could place it, right? So then you could waste your days, you know, landscaping the world and getting rid of all the dirt sides, or you could leave it, you know. So unfortunately we're not gonna be able to see because of the darkness. One thing I could do today is just not do anything in West Hill at all and fight the dragon and get some shulker boxes. That could be something else we do. True Purple's just back from a weekend at your sister's. Very cool. Toy Bear, haven't seen you in a while. Thanks so much. I'm glad you liked the graveyard. Yeah, it came out quite nice. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the way that it looks. We're sort of adjusting what we were planning because we've got this this field, but you can't really see much of the wildflowers from the road. So what I think I want to do is actually remove a lot of this. It's going to mean this is going to be really flat. Well, I guess we don't have to remove the whole thing, but I want to remove the part that's by the wildflowers. Because this is a really pretty look, and it was pretty simple to do. I might have to go use Cosmic's Flower Farm. I think they get Azure Blue A in the Flower Farm. I'd have to go check. I built the farm, you'd think I'd remember. The idea is that I want to be able to see that field, right, and extend it. So I would take this stuff here and wrap it around the whole graveyard. Like, so it would be like a big horseshoe that would go around all the way, basically like right to here. So I would pull that around. And I think that would look okay. That way we don't have to remove all of this. We could just kind of push this back. I'd probably get rid of all this stone anyway. Man, I've been having pizza like once a week, chat. People are talking about pizza and getting hungry in chat. I really like pizza. Pizza and a glass of whiskey, that's a solid Friday night right there. The problem is that depending on the kind of pizza I get, if I get a big pizzeria pizza, then like I'll eat half of it. But if I get like a deli pizza, like a 12-inch sort of medium pizza from like a grocery store or something like that, I'll usually get them where they've got some toppings on them. Then I'll bring them home and I'll add my own toppings. Maybe I'll add some extra meat or something like that. I can eat the whole thing. I can sit there, enjoy, and eat the entire thing. Which is maybe counterproductive to all the time I spend in the gym. A lot of protein, but an awful lot of carbs too. Ooh, garlic knots are good too. We've got garlic fingers in Canada. I'm not sure if that's a thing that people get a lot in other countries, but it looks like a pizza, but it's cut into straight lines instead of wedges. And it's all garlic and cheese. It's basically like garlic bread in the form of a pizza. Yeah, so the only thing I don't know about is like this mound behind the shed, but I guess we could just turn that into like a series of bushes. Kind of trim it down a little bit. So this feels pretty natural. I think I'm going to get rid of this part. I missed. So here's where we would probably take this and sort of naturally curve it around and cover this part up. I feel like that's far enough back. Two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that looks okay. I always say this, but I always feel like a 3D printer when I'm doing stuff like this. Now, I'm not going to fill in the whole thing. I don't think so anyway. But I will fill at least two levels. And if it's easy like this, then I might as well. Although we don't have anywhere to store all this, so might as well just, I guess, keep it going. I think this is pretty smooth over here, maybe not. Yeah, I might have to move this around a little bit. That's all right, we can kind of pull this down and smooth it out later. It's just this level here. Whoops. So this all kind of feeds down into this little marsh area that I was talking about. So I want to make sure that this looks good. Oops. I think we'll just cover up the cave. And it's nighttime again. Benji Bananas, welcome in. Thanks for saying hi. Doing building work like this always looks hilarious from a spectator point of view. Seeing your character going back and forth, filling in the landscape, it's great to watch like that. I guess I find this kind of stuff really tedious in the game. I would much prefer doing something creative, but I'm also, after the last 2 streams of doing like grass and moss and all the little bush parts, like I'm totally tapped out on doing all that stuff right now. So just something sort of mindless is good. I mean, it has to get done. It's a little bit easier to chat sometimes too when you're not doing something quite so involved. So, you know, people that have like questions about the world or streaming and podcasting, all that kind of stuff. I know we've already had a DM about it, Scotsman, but thanks again for the support on Patreon. Were you able to get into Infinity Cove? Okay, did you find a mod? You got access to the patron server? All that good stuff. Whoops. Don't have any torches on me, but I guess I can just leave this dark because then any mobs are going to just spawn not on the surface where I don't want them to spawn. I'm doing a double thick roof just in case I decide to do any texture work up here, and so I don't have to constantly be worried about stuff falling down. Yeah, I think wrapping that meadow around is going to be a good idea. Just been whitelisted now. Thank you. Not sure if I'll try to log in yet, though. No worries. You know, whenever, you know, there's never any pressure. It's a very casual server, and it's also not a server that resets, at least as far as it's been around. That's up to the people that play on it, so it might reset in the future. I don't know. But because of the time investment from everybody, it tends to be a long-term world. So the thing about that is that there's no pressure to then, you know, keep up with the Joneses or anything like that, right? All right, well, unfortunately, we have to get rid of all this stone. And then I guess what I'll do is I'll try to trim this back as best I can. I feel like we can probably remove a lot of this. And we'll turn it into more like a mossy bush patch. Partly the draw for you is the long-term world currently enjoy the most. Yeah, I don't really enjoy the whole resetting Minecraft all the time. I even have a hard time with some of my favorite content creators. If the world's reset a lot or they're constantly joining new servers and starting over again, it's like, I don't see the appeal of going right back to like zero technology, zero game progression. Like it drives me nuts. That's just me. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying as a viewer, it's not my favorite thing. And as a player, I really don't like going all the way back. The only exception I think would be something like Skyblock, or maybe like a hardcore world, or I guess a modded world. I still complain about it a little bit in a modded world, but I think the difference there would be if I ever did that again, to start over, there has to be some sort of other appeal. So it has to be like modded, or Skyblock would be fun with a friend. Like I think it would be fun to have like a Skyblock server that's limited in terms of its time, like maybe just for the holidays. And then we could build like cool, I don't know, Christmas themed stuff in Minecraft, and not have to worry about it being on the server, you know, and it's not going to encroach on anybody's builds. We don't have to designate a special Christmas area, although we could do that. We could find a winter place and just do like a Christmas wonderland. That would be kind of funny, actually. Alistair has done some Christmas prank builds, but they were just candy canes that were meant to come down after the month was over. But having a Christmas village on the server might actually not be a bad idea, because that way you could go there once a year when you're in the holiday spirit to build there, and then not have to continue. And because of the zones that we have on the server, we could put it far enough away that people are just never gonna see it unless you go there on purpose. Not a bad idea to have now, because that gives us a month to figure out what we'd want to do. What would people be more interested in? A Skyblock series, or like over the holidays, or something like, you know, on the Citadel, where there's still work going into the server and the server continues to get more interesting and bigger. I have a hard time justifying the time spent away from Westhill, but I'm coming up on finishing Westhill, so I'm not going to have that restraint anymore. You know, netherite pickaxe is pretty fast. I know we could be blitzing through this with a beacon, but netherite pick is not bad. Hey bud, using 100 bits. Love the chill stream. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. I've also been watching a lot of Satisfactory, so I'm very interested to get more technical stuff going on. I don't think I want to do a snapshot playthrough. I don't think I want to spend the kind of time that would need to go into something like a playing around with the crafter. I mean, I might do it for fun for like an hour, but I don't think I'd want to do anything like week to week, you know? We had a grass? We're out of grass. All right, we'll use dirt. I guess that's one nice thing about the grass eventually growing over everything. Just means it's a little bit harder to see on the map what it's going to look like in the end. For some reason, my brain just started wondering what it would be like to try and run a skyblock in the end for a long-term world, especially that dirt as possible, stone, moss, podzol road. Yeah, there's some interesting technical stuff that you could do in skyblock. With the grind that happens in skyblock, it would be really interesting to see what happens to skyblock once the crafter is introduced to the game. Because there's a lot of redstone farms and things that people tend to do in skyblock. And if your time is the real commodity in skyblock, right? Burger, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. So I think that cuts out everything. And yeah, that opens up the field a little bit. I mean, it's very flat. We'd have to do some stuff like this and have some bushes and things. I might even want to cut that back a little bit more. Make it a little bit wider. Yeah, I feel like right about here. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Two, three, four, 5. You can hear an Enderman down there in the cave. I do find this speeds the process up a little bit sometimes if you seed it with some grass. It'll cover over a little bit faster. Yeah, that's a better opening. I think I like that. Okay. So I guess we'll go get some moss and some bushes and just see if we can't make that little tuff behind the shed look good. And the road is definitely needing some attention too. I imagine we're probably going to be full up on grass. Oh, actually we've got room, so that's surprising. We'll do moss, carpet. I do need to go get more. Shouldn't need more than that. And maybe some bone meal. Oh, I forgot my concrete powder. I'm just going to try to make this little grassy bit behind here feel A little bit more dense. We should probably just make the whole thing out of moss. And fix the shape up of it a little bit, maybe. Whoops. That looks pretty good. Obviously, it'll look better once we pepper in the flowers and stuff. So you can see the space now where I want these flowers to loop around. So they'll probably come right to about here. So now I need to think about this road. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to transition this road. And I don't know if this is really working. I think I might have to pull this stone parts down. I don't think I want the stone to go all the way up here. It's hard though because we've got roads that travel farther away, right? Like we've got longer roads that are all bricked, and this just kind of dies. But I don't want to turn that into a stone brick road because the other ones are going to be like, this is going to stay dirt as well. So at some point along here, it has to change from stone to dirt. I feel like this is probably just as good a point as any. Maybe we can just extend the way that it kind of breaks down farther. But I think the big thing right now is just the coarse dirt stuff. Make a tiny stair to make the break. Well, that's kind of what this is. I think the issue that I don't like is the border pushing along. So I think I just need to break it down a little bit faster. Because it would make sense, you know, like if this is a paved road here, then this would be probably even less paved at this point. Like it'd probably be more dirt coming down this way. This is where I find the map really helps. Get a top-down view without having to like fly around and seeing what's going on. A little better. I think I need some other textures as well. Oh, that was a mistake. Make a stone brick road up a stair, then dirt after the stone stair. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a gradual transition, right? I'm also trying not to spend eons on all these little things, because then I'll just never finish. Just never finish the gig. Minecraft Melly, tier 1 subscription, 8 months. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good weekend. So I'm trying to think about different levels of the road getting busted apart. I find it helps, like once you have something like this dirt patch, like putting cracked next to it really helps kind of sell the whole idea. Oh, except for when you run out. Minecraft Melly, the day's going pretty well. I was up really early, but that's fine. Like I just was able to hang out, read a bit. I'm reading Patrick Stewart's memoirs right now. Memoir, just one, but it's good. I like it. I'm only in the first chapter, but I only got the book the other day. Or rather, it arrived the day it came out because I pre-ordered it, but I didn't actually start it until the other day. I think it came out on the 9th or the 6th or something. So I still have this weird edge here that doesn't need to be there. Actually, there it would. It's only here that it would stop. Or I guess it would go around the corner here. I saw a message from him on Twitter today where he popped into a small bookstore because he saw his book in the window and asked if they had any more, and then he signed them on the spot. Yeah, I saw a social media clip of him. He was somewhere in New York, and he was just like waiting for a train, and he saw the book in one of the little shops like near the train station, and he was signing it without letting anybody know. Like he was just in there kind of like shushing the camera and then signing a copy and putting it back on the shelf. You imagine you buy a copy of the book and you don't bother to open it till you get home and then you realize that he's signed it. The interviews that have been happening around the book have been really cool. And Alistair, who's on the server with me, has the audiobook, which of course is read by Patrick Stewart. So that would be a really cool experience. Yeah, so this looks okay, sort of. I feel like maybe we want to get rid of this. Nope. I do like using the carpets to help kind of give things an edge where you want to direct people. Maybe we'll make this a bush. Sometimes these little touches just going to help. You know, like they frame it so that you immediately just start to move in that direction. Do you feel like these are a little bit off? Maybe I need to pull this back a bit. That's better. 100 bits from the Mr. Noob. Thanks very much. Hey, Joel, love the Minecraft podcast. Listened to the last week, and you mentioned you worked out. Yes. I've been meaning to start going to the gym, but I don't want to go to the gym and be working out without effectively any advice on a beginner routine to use. Routines are so personal. So that kind of stuff, I think, is something that's 100% worth your time and or money to talk to a professional trainer, personal trainer, because your goals are different than my goals and, all that kind of stuff. But overall, if that's not an option, because maybe it's not financially an option, I would say stick to the basics if you're going to do any weight training and start light. It's called progressive overload, so that you start low and slowly over time progress. If you try to progress too quickly, then you can end up hurting yourself. So, if you've never been and you need someone to show you like how to do things properly, like that's, if you can't just find somebody in the gym or a buddy that already does that kind of stuff to show you how to do things right, then there are some resources online, but honestly, you'd be better off like spending the money with a 1 or 2 sessions for a personal trainer. And between that, it's being consistent, like it's choosing something that you can do like 3 days a week and then just like consistently for months and months hit 3 days a week without fail. So I don't know what's happening with this bank yet, so I don't want to spend too much time decorating the top of it. Time to exercise taking a break, says Sandy. Thanks. Good to know. Appreciate the heads up. I mean, there's lots of good resources out there in terms of like just learning how to do exercises. If you're going to go online, I really like Squat University. It's a good user or a good social media account. Athlete X is good, but more advanced. It's not really a beginner channel. I don't know any beginner channels off the top of my head for that kind of thing. But again, like those pieces of advice, they're so general. Like it's so hard to get good results when you've not tailored something to your goals from a fitness standpoint. All right, I think that's good for like making this feel like it hasn't been forgotten. So I think the one thing I'll try when we get back from the break is I'll make good on that idea to bring this field of flowers around the corner. And I mean, it's pretty easy to do. We'll just come in here with the bone meal and just start spamming it around, and we'll see how that goes. Actually, I have to check my resources. I don't know how many more flowers I have because I want to use the short blue flower, and I really don't think I have many. I don't know if I have more than just a 50, so I might have to go. We need more moss anyway, so we might have to make a trip to Cosmic's Flower Farm. Thor of Asgard is saying that a person by the name of Jeff Nippard has a really broad range of fitness advice as well. Yeah, I'm not familiar, so I can't recommend them, but we'll see. Anyway, I take a break once an hour, folks. Gives me a chance to reheat the old coffee. Gives you a chance to stretch, maybe even grab a friend. We're always trying to grow the channel. So if you want to let people know that we're live and hanging out here in Minecraft, then that'd be great. I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. All right, let's go check to see what we've got in storage. See if there's any flowers. And I chatted with Cosmic, and it's fine for us to go use the flower farm. We just have to bring our own bone meal. That's fine. Because we can get that from moss anyway. And I've got lots of bones. I might even have more bones at my swamp farm. I'm not really sure. So there's no real flowers here. Don't think there's anything in here. I think I was here yesterday. Okay. And then in here... yeah, there's no flowers in any of these boxes. Okay. So it might be a little bit of a supply run here. Whoop, with some server lag. We had that happen yesterday too. Wow, this is rough. What is going on? Won't be doing much of anything if this keeps up. I would like to stand up, please. Thanks very much. And I would like my lighter to not be open. Well, there's that. Definitely not smooth. Not for me. Okay. Bone meal goes back in there. So we'll bring this with us in case we need to feed Cosmic's flower farm. We will bring the flower box with us so we can maybe rebalance. I don't need all of these dandelions. Maybe we can trade for some other things. This is all good and done. I definitely need some more coarse dirt. We can make that later. I need to bring the moss. Oh, I need to put stuff away first. Definitely need to bring the moss box with us. And we're okay for azalea bushes. That's not a problem. Oh, yeah, there's nothing in there either. Really, we're good for most greenery. That's all of these Azure Blue to my name, so I need to fix that. I guess I could check the modern city as well. I don't think we're low on anything else. Anybody else remember any? Well, you know what? No, we still got lots of iron. I don't see anything that we're really low on. At least nothing that I've been using frequently. I mean, we've got all that stuff back in the main storage. Okay. So we'll just dump this in here. Go on a little road trip. So I'm trying to think about what might be good to put in this area that I'm staring at right there. I feel like it could be fun to have like an inn or something there. I feel like it makes sense to have almost like a place for people could pull over to the side of the road and like hitch horses and stuff like that. because there's this big old ugly hill that we have to do something with, and having something like right up against it could solve that problem. We can maybe even build into the hill. That could be kind of cool too. And putting the texture on this road is going to take forever. It's a long road. The Druid Gen, yeah, we need to go get some more moss, and we need more flowers for the fields that I'm decorating. So we're going to go... I built a flower farm last summer, maybe? It's one of those shifting floor bone meal operated flower farms, but we've got the bone meal for it. But what's really cool now in future is that if you wanted to do something like that, you know, you could either feed it with bone meal directly, or if bones is what you had, you could set yourself up with an auto crafter with a crafter block, and then turn your bone blocks into bone meal. So you could just load in bone blocks, and then one by one it would empty out bone meal into the farm. Like there's some really cool possibilities for streamlining stuff like that in Minecraft once that crafter blocks starts to make it into the main game. Wow. Don't run into horses on this path very often. Is it me, or... I don't think I've ever realized how tall horses are. Yeah, that was a pretty horse, I agree. See, this path worked out really well. They look a lot better when they're not as wide. One of the issues I think I have, one of the mistakes I made with the roads outside of the town in West Hill is that I made them very, very wide. For anybody new, we've got this fast travel system on the server. I'm not sure how many people know about that if you're new to the channel, but we have command blocks that teleport you like 10,000 blocks away. And that allows us to keep things like the modern city or the what's the other one? Modern city, medieval zone. I thought there was 3. Maybe there's just the 2. I guess I'll check my swamp base first to see if we've got any resources. I still don't know how to fix the map. The map just doesn't show like our main hub. I've updated the mini-map a number of times and I just don't know. I think I have to delete the file, someone said. Real life horses are huge. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've not spent a lot of time around horses. Right, bones. I wanted to see if we've got bones. We have no bones. Don't need anything from there. Do we have any flowers? One lonely flower. I'll take those. These are all just single high flowers. So I never keep many of the too high flowers because of course you can bone meal them to just get whatever you want. Does not look like much. I certainly don't need more dandelions. Okay, nothing here. No bone meal. And I don't think we've maxed out the moss farm, so there's no bone meal being made by the moss farm. I feel like the last time I turned on the moss farm it broke, so I haven't used it in a while. Oh, it's almost nighttime. Do we have a bed there? I don't know if we have a bed at the moss farm. I'll go back to Dartmouth Meadows and sleep so that we at least have a daytime bit. I might actually have some flowers here now that I think about it. I forget how much fun it is to have a speed beacon in the town. Mr. Noob subscribed to Tier 1. Thanks ever so much, Mr. Noob. Make sure you connect to your Discord and your Twitch and join us in the Joel Duggan Discord. Oh, I got 20. I'll leave a few just in case I need them. And I don't think I keep bone meal here. This is pretty bone dry. There's not a lot going on. This is my starter storage in my barn. Let's just take the long way. Why not? Rather than going back through the nether. Man, sneezes have been sneaking up on me all weekend. I'm glad I got a mute button right in front of me. This is actually the path that goes back to our spawn area on the server. Hey bud, I'm glad you caught that. They're no fun unless people catch them. So this is our currently non-functioning iron farm, which we've got to fix. And that's the moss farm. It's a small version of a, oh gosh, Bill Mango design. And so the controls are all in here. And the moss is made and then is brought into a storage system. And the storage system is down here. So the items are shot up against the honey blocks and then they slide down into hoppers. And it's all collected here. And so it's pretty full. But we can fill up. Maybe not all of them. I like to leave a little bit of room just in case. And then carpets are somewhere. Here we go. That should be good. So what I've done is upstairs in here, there's another overflow water stream that turns everything that does not get filled into these chests into bone meal, but I don't know why I made so much storage. The idea was that it was going to be enough for the server, but I don't think anybody ever used it to the point where they could use it. So here's the sorting system for the moss, and then the overflow actually goes outside. You can see the water stream up here. Where is it? Here. Yeah, so water stream, the moss comes in here, and then it goes outside, and it goes around the outside. You can see it on the map, actually. It goes around the outside there, and then comes along here, and any overflow gets turned into... it either goes turned back around and gets dumped in here to try again, or it gets turned into moss, or not moss, bone meal, by these droppers spitting everything out into these composters in the back there. But there's no overflow right now, so the bone meal farm is empty. And out of curiosity, because our iron farm is not working, We're okay, but we're not like doing fantastic for a server of 4 active players. So we may have to double check that, see if we can get that to work. I think Alistair was going to look into it. All right, so we didn't have any flowers, didn't have any bone meal. I might have bones in here somewhere. Actually, there might be flowers in here too. Few more. Okay. We'll go down to Cosmics and try to use the flower farm. I feel like we need to hook up Cosmic with another portal. There's only the one portal. And Somerville is so large now that they could absolutely have a couple of portals from one end to the other, you know? So it goes without saying, you can see why Cosmic needs a flower farm and why I built them one. And that's it right here, actually. This little greenhouse on the right here. And it does all of the nether stuff, and it does all of the other stuff as well. And there are no blue A flowers. What I'm going to do is there's what, 5 different kinds? Plus the tulips. So I don't need sunflowers. Is this all 2 high flowers? Yeah, that's all the different kinds of 2 high flowers there. So I'll leave Cosmic a stack of sunflowers just in case they want them. Plus it frees up a spot in my box here. And I don't think I need 2 stacks or more than 2 stacks. I certainly don't need all these dandelions. Make a donation to the future of flowers. Cool. So that gives me a little bit more flexibility in terms of what I can store and what I'm looking to do. I do use red dye a lot, so I'm going to leave those there. And then, there's where we put the bone meal. Cosmic said that they're out of bone meal. I also need to remember, I think that's the way down. Yep. So we've got a shifting flower farm on this side and a shifting nether wart farm and nether sprout farm on that side. And so everything gets fed in through the bone meal and then gets sorted out in this water stream here. I think it's all still functioning correctly. It's on a timer. Don't know why that would have started. Maybe it's constantly running? I don't know. But it does not have any bone meal, so we will do that. I think 2 stacks should do it. And I believe this is the on switch, and then this is the on switch So, take a look. I can't really see with shaders. I just want to go down and make sure that the bone meal is getting where it's supposed to go. Looks like yes. And it's filling up both sides. And I guess it just, the torch must burn out at some point. Yeah. Oh, you know what it is? The water is on a timer. It's the shifting floor that's on an on-off switch. I remember that now. Speaking of water. So we'll turn this on. And that should start shifting the floor. Curious now. Yep. Not a quiet farm. Does the water not flow? There we go. Then all that gets shot down that way. And then you should start to see it come out. Yeah. It's like a Rube Goldberg flower machine. Oh, nighttime. Have to be careful. Could have sworn I saw stuff coming up. There we go. So I'm going to leave that running for a second. And I'm going to go sleep so we don't have any creeper surprises. I like that Cosmic has used soul lanterns all along here. Fun. I think there's a bed in here. Yep. Hey, there's Cosmic. Hello. Shouldn't be constantly running. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have an on-off switch. It just took longer than I remember to for the water to come out. It's probably the shaders. That's why we can't see down there, but anyway. It's really not giving us a lot of blue A, is it? Okay, now you can see it. I guess it depends on that patch, and maybe that wasn't, this patch within the world wasn't something where you were overly concerned about as your blue A. That could be it too. I see a lot of daisies and a lot of dandelions. Can you grow specific flowers with that setup, or does it just grow whatever it wants and you sort it out afterwards? That's what I was talking about. There are specific areas in the world where the types of flowers will grow. Like if you keep on bone mealing and keep on removing grass, eventually it'll fill up with flowers, and there's like a flower map, and you'll be able to see what types of flowers you have. So we just picked an area where Cosmic was going to get a mix. We weren't overly concerned about the proportions. But for example, like if you wanted tulips, you couldn't do it here. If you wanted tulips, you'd have to find like a flower forest somewhere, like a birch forest or something, and do it there. So there are advantages to doing it in different areas. And I don't know what happens if you try to do it in some place like the end, you know, where there's, you don't have like those kind of biomes. Yeah, so we've just doubled it. It went to 35. I think we actually did the math at some point. Like I think we ran it for part of a stream and then said, all right, it's like, you know, obviously a lot of cornflowers, and blue is hard to get anyway. So that's kind of good that there's a lot of cornflowers, decent amount of daisies. I mean, unfortunately I filled these up, but like I only put like 3 stacks of dandelion. So it's very heavy on the yellow and heavy on the blue. But But then like between yellow and red, you've also got orange in there that you can make. Can't remember what these make. But I feel like close to 2 stacks should be fine. I don't think we're going to need 2 stacks. I'll get one more batch and then we'll head off. You can just hear it. Like we made it deep enough so that it wasn't going to be loud if you're on the surface. I forget how cool this build is actually. And really like well decorated and looks really fun, and kind of, it's fun in how you can have like a very technical build like this, but it still works with all of the floral stuff that Cosmic has going around. All right, I'm going to shut it off now. I'll just wait for those to come in. Yeah, light gray. But we can get light gray from bone meal and other dyes, so I'd rather use the flowers for flowers most of the time. It's just dandelions and poppies. Yeah. It may just be grass turning. Yeah. That would make sense, right? All right. Well, that's almost 2 stacks. Cosmic, we've cleared you out. Where did I get the soul sand? Where did I pick that up? Weird. Maybe from my barn. So we've got those. We've got now some stacks of flowers. So we're good there. And I don't... Where else do I have bones? I think maybe just the bone barn. I turn that off, right? Yes. I guess my bone barn is the only other place that I might have bones. I guess we'll take the nether. That's new. I don't remember looking at these Cosmic. Those are fun. That's a lot of tulips. Holy smoke. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Let's take the long way. It's so pretty through here. Like, you might as well, right? I do like how the natural design of the cherry blossom trees, they kind of reach out over the road. It's a fun way that they're designed. It's really funny to go back to some of your old builds when you know that you've changed some of the techniques that you use and all that stuff. Sometimes though, like going back to simpler roads and simpler designs, it's sometimes more effective. Like some of this is the way that I wish some paths in West Hill looked, and I think I've just strayed from making small paths. So Alistair wants me to help him out with some paths on his builds, and I might suggest we don't go too wide, you know? Keep them simple. So we have a small market area, and I had a bone shop, but the bone shop was, I think, fueled by my skeleton farm in my swamp area, but I haven't used it in a long time. So I don't know. We saw that my swamp base had no bones in it, so I don't have any bones there. I might have some stock here. The wizard tower. Yeah, that's Matcast. That's where our potion brewing. The potion brewing is like in the mountain. There's a portal in the nether that takes you up there. So this is our little market area for all the different people in the server that sell stuff. And I believe my bone barn. Hope somebody has given me mangrove planks for payment. We've got bone meal, got bones. Do I have any actual like bone blocks? Nope. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just grab a little bit extra. Yeah, that should be fine. This took forever to figure out, but it worked out quite well. These are quartz stairs. Oh, Cosmic's got flowers here too. Smooth stone and coal. I don't think there's anything in stock. Nope. Never cleaned up my setup from making that. I don't think there's anything else down this way that we need. We've got rockets and we just got carrots and gold the other day, so I think we're good to head back. Should give me just enough time to finish that field. So I guess for anybody that's new, it's not really a server tour, but like it's a decent walk around the things that we've been, you know, doing on the server, kind of a trek back to like the early areas. And it's by no means a server tour because, like, gosh, there's people that have entire areas that they've been working on for as long as I've been working on West Hill. So there's an awful lot on the server to see. Honestly, you'd be better off to like tune into the other people that stream. So Alistair McFly, Stephen ESC, Cosmic _ Dancer, they're in the chat right now, and then Hannah. But I don't know if I don't know what Hannah's Twitch name is. She's changed it. Northern Vet, I think. But I don't know if they're streaming currently. I don't think they are. Plan to, but when that happens, we'll see. I'm going to wait and sleep because it's going to be dark. And we have a lot of tables and chairs errors from a data pack that no longer works. I think I just have to bite the bullet and install the new data pack. I got to talk to MiniPacks. They've got the data pack installed on Infinity Cove and they've got it working, but they had to go around and replace all the old ones. So there's a link to all the citizens. Thanks, SweetSandi. So Stephen had his first stream back in a while yesterday, and Alistair has come back from a break as well and had 2 streams earlier this week. So really good opportunities to get acquainted with what Stephen and Alistair are doing, actually, because if you are new, then their return streams was as much refreshing their brains as what they were doing in Minecraft, as well as bringing their audiences up to speed. So worth checking out. I actually rated Stephen at the end of the stream yesterday. So now we get to experience West Hill first thing in the morning coming in from the north. And every time I do this, the reason I like to walk this instead of just flying it is because I'm always trying to take note about how it feels to approach the town, come into the valley, see how the different landscapes that we've added are helping. I do want to look into potentially extending the render distance on the server just so that more of West Hill can be seen at one time. I may do that when we upgrade to 1.20.3. I might just be like, you know, maybe it's time to just go from like 16 chunks to 18 or 20 just to kind of get that little extra bit. This path needs to be done too. I need to add that to the book. Did I bring the book? No. This is the reveal of the valley. And so you can see why I want to have something there, because it would be in render distance. And it would be something to look at before the town actually comes into render distance. So I feel like something like right there, like a building in that space right there would be good. And then we have to do all the riverscaping. You can see it down there, how brown and boring it is. So it'll be nice to have that sorted out. And this, of course, is going to be a field of something. Maybe even flowers, depending on how it all goes. But yeah, I like that, and I think we're going to do that along here a little bit. I might put like a little wharf or something here too. Make a lot of sense. Yeah, I feel like a building right here would be nice. It's now Northern Vet for Hannah, but she's not streaming yet. Just a future plan. Okay, cool. Thanks, Cosmic. And then I really don't know what to put in this space other than just like a lawn, you know, like bushes and different things like that. And we've not done any textures along here. So there's still a fair bit of landscaping. And that's, I think one of the things that I find so daunting about what's left is that there's a fair amount of work left and it's all very much the same. Build a swamp here, build a wetlands here, all that good stuff. So let's take a stack of flowers. Take a couple stacks of bone meal. That can go down. I don't think I have any mangrove stuff out here, but my nether box is over here somewhere. Got shears. I think that's all we need. I'm going to try not to go too close to everything I've done. So the process of this was essentially what we did was let Minecraft do the spawning of the flowers, and then I would run around and replace them and have them all be the same color. So then we just run around and just do that. And obviously we get some natural spawning blueways as well. You know, I lied. The stack probably won't go very far. And then we just take down all the too high grass. And that's kind of it. It's just that's the process, and obviously it needs more. So then you're just gonna go through and just randomly thin it out a little bit, and then go back and bone meal again, and then rinse and repeat until it feels dense enough. And I think I did one final pass where I took out more grass. Should do the grass first, actually. It makes it easier to see what you're doing. I guess in part I could have done this before I went because I would have had more flowers to drop to Cosmic. But it's a very relaxing, very easy way to create like some random patterns when you're, you know, doing them yourself. I find that it feels like you're kind of forced into it, and then you can sometimes end up making patterns without realizing it. But I find it looks really effective when it's all one color. Wouldn't necessarily have to be all one kind of flower. Like if you had dandelions and tulips or something, if they were all yellow. Oh, we're out of flowers. I wish there was a better way to do specific flower growth. It would be neat if you could find like a specific way. I guess if you found like a single block that always spawned a blue A, then you could just put like an observer clock on it and just like spam it and eventually get what you want. Right? That makes sense. I don't know if that's quite how they work, but I'm gonna start inside before I get to the edge so I don't run out. Did I miss any? I find that the map also helps here when you're trying to figure out where the bald spots are. You know, you're trying to figure out where I can make it a little bit more dense. Yeah, there's not a lot happening in here. And then as you get closer to the edge, you can kind of use your judgment to kind of maybe spread them a little bit thinner. And now we sleep. How many people play on Infinity Cove? That's a really good question. Around 18 or 20. I don't know how many are active. Is there anybody that's on Infinity Cove? Elkhorn, you're here. What's the normal kind of like number of people playing at once on Infinity Cove? I think it's around 9 or 10. When we moved the server location, I think when I was discussing it, the logistics of that, I think it was there are more that play on Infinity Cove, but does not stream. Yeah, there's more than just the streamers. There's I want to say there's around 20 members, maybe, and then you might see 10 at a time. MindTripMedia, 100 bits for Infinity Cove. Thanks very much. So some of this is a little bit too close to the edge, right? I'm just sort of going through and thinning out a little bit here. Try not to take out any flowers, just because by removing the grass, you see a little bit more of the flowers from the road. Not bad. Yeah, so it's less of something that's kind of in your face from down here and more something you see when you get up a level, which I like. Usually 2 to 3 on at a time. My odd job Sunday can get up to 5 of us. A whitelist is 15 to 20. About 10 of those are active. Okay, cool. Thanks, Alcorn. Appreciate that. Yeah, I knew from like the Patreon side of things it was about 15 to 20. And I think that's divided about evenly between like the founder level and the community miner level, or the community server level. I think that looks pretty good. And I imagine it looks really cool from up here. Yeah, nice little flower field that goes behind the graveyard. Not that you're going to see it from the air, but I think it's a really nice way to kind of achieve the same thing that I was doing with the graveyard. So something that I find is very true out here is that we have this giant wall, this giant face of the town, and it goes very flat, very fast, and it's very boring because we haven't done anything with it yet. But around here, we've got the east gate, which granted is not as tall as the front gate, but then we've got the graveyard, and the graveyard kind of helps like frame the road, bring the build down, and gradually transition from like the town into outside town builds into the landscape. And then the flower field does the same thing for the graveyard. It takes the graveyard, which is 4 to 5 blocks high, lots of detail, and sort of gradually blends it with less detail, less work by the player into the overall surrounding Minecraft landscape, which I have no intention of touching. Like, I'm not going to mess with any of that. We'll have probably this low area will be kind of a swamp, and then everything on the road here will be something that we landscape, but I'm not going to be landscaping this hill. I'm not going to do like all that stuff in there. I'm just going to leave that. And then we'll do the riverbanks and whatnot. I have no idea what's happening over there. That would be something cool if we could figure out what that house is going to be. Having this building that I'm thinking about putting in this space right here, if it was built into the hill a little bit, it would also give a nice border. Like if we built it like right up against this road, it would kind of give like a border to the road instead of this hill if it was a building. And then if the top of it had, I don't know, like a balcony or some sort of like garden or something specific, that would help inform what we might do with this particular space. Like maybe there's like a stone balcony here and then a stone walkway, and we could do like a tier instead of just a regular hillside here. We could do like a man-made kind of stone tier down into the bottom here. And then you can see where I have the runoff planned from the marshland's going to run off down here. So yeah, there's still quite a bit of landscaping left to do. There's a huge lack of pink flowers. Representing Cosmic when Cosmic can't be here. That's funny. But overall, it's been really fun to kind of get this stuff up and at a level of finish that I'm happy with. And like, it's just like we were talking about the gym earlier. You know, you look at a build like this and you think, man, that's a lot of work. And you're right. But the thing is, like, I've gone from streaming, you know, weekends to up to 5 days a week and then back down to weekends again. But I've consistently been streaming at least 3 times a week for 3 years. And as long as you just keep on plugging at it, just like going to the gym, like you're going to make progress. You can't do nothing if you're always logging in and always streaming and always doing things. So yeah, we didn't really build a lot today, but I think I like the checkbox of finishing up some mistakes I didn't like there, having this flower field kind of wrap around. We might even push that a little bit closer to the road down here just to kind of make it feel like it's blended. But I think it creates a nice border. And I'm going to remember that. Like maybe we can do other fields. Like there's other spaces. Where is it? That needs some work. There's also, I want to say over here, there's this area on that side of the road where the farm ends, right? I don't know where this farm is going to end, but maybe this could be some wild growth along the river as well. So there's lots of cool things here, but you can see there's lots of room here for building. It just can't be very tall because I don't want it to be something that competes with this area of the town, right? So anyway, that is going to be where I wrap things up for today, folks. I'm going to pass you along to somebody else playing Minecraft. Let me just refresh my feed and see who's going. Impulse is live but playing not Minecraft. Tadpole Milk is on the Halcyon Heights, and it's a Halcyon Heights weekend actually. And Short Zelda is doing hardcore and hardcore for Sly Slime as well. Let's send you on to Tadpole Milk. I think most people here are familiar with Tadpole. We raid them quite often. And where it's a Halcyon Heights stream weekend, you might be passed along to other like-minded Minecrafters in that stream as well. So we'll send you there to continue your Minecraft day. If you want to follow here on Twitch, I would very much appreciate it. You'll get notifications when I go live. If you're someone that has already used the tier 1 sub or a prime sub, then you can get access to the Discord. You'll also get a heads up when I go live. The cheapest way to join the Discord, though, is at Patreon. That's patreon.com/JoelDuggan. It's only $2 a month, less than the price of a cup of coffee, and you get to hang out with me and everybody that's in there. And also you get heads up whenever I go live in the Discord if you have your notifications on for Discord. I do a podcast every Monday with Pixel Riffs. We'll be doing the Spawn Chunks mailbag episode tomorrow. That's the Spawn Chunk dispenser, answering lots of emails. I'm sure we will have a ton because we, of course, are talking about the Crafter in the new snapshot and a few other things. There's also the Citadel Cafe, which is my podcast about sci-fi and fantasy entertainment. And that is going to be recording, I believe, on Wednesday with Brockett. So fingers crossed that he can make that recording and we'll have a new episode out soon. That's going to be it for me, folks. I will see you next stream is on Thursday. Bye for now. Have a good week.